Why are you getting into this? What are your top 3 goals? Is it lifestyle? Is it income? Is it growth? Is it flexibility? Why are you doing this? Why are you considering it? Get really clear on that.
If you're an emerging franchise founder, you already know this. The jump from 10 to 100 units is where most brands stall out. Not because the concept isn't strong, but because the founder is drowning in chaos. I'm Guy Coffey, franchisor, franchisee, and growth strategist. I've been where you are, and I know what it takes to build a brand that scales without burning out, selling out, or losing control. That's why I created the Franchise Scaleup Show. Every week, I'll share the playbooks, the red flags, and the mindset shifts to separate the brands that stall from the ones that scale. So if you're serious about protecting your vision and multiplying your brand, hit subscribe right now. This is the Franchise Scaleup Show. I'm Guy Coffey. Let's get to work.
In this episode, I am going to provide a franchise checklist, evaluation checklist that people can use to evaluate franchise options that they have. At the end, I'll also share with how brand leaders can use the same checklist to help improve their system. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into the checklist and go from there. Number 1, your motivation, your why. Why are you getting into this? What are your top 3 goals? Is it lifestyle? Is it income? Is it growth? Is it flexibility? Why are you doing this? Why are you considering it? Get really clear on that. Number 2, the franchise concept and business model. What is the core product or service? Who's the customer? And what drives demand? Things like this, you have to ask yourself, is this model scalable through the systems, the people, and not just more hustle, because you're only going to have so many hours in the day? Number 3, market demand and industry outlook. Is it growing? Is it super stable, or is it declining? Think of examples in your marketplace where you would see any of those. What's growing, what's stable or declining. What drives demand for this? And what's the competitive landscape in your area for this particular product or service? Number 4, the company history / its track record. How long has a brand been operating and franchising? I don't really like to discount anything that hasn't been going for a long time, because that's how you get on the emerging brand when it's smaller and growing. So don't discount it just because it's not old, but look at how many units are open versus closed. Is it growing, or is there attrition in the system? And has the brand been around to survive economic cycles and market changes and things like that? So just take that into account. But remember, emerging brands, which I particularly like, they're not going to check the box on this particular question. So there's other questions that you can go deeper on. Number 5, this is important, the franchisor leadership team. Who leads the franchisor? Is it founders? Is it an executive team that was hired by a private equity company? Neither one is better or worse. Each has their own advantages and disadvantages. But are you going to be working in the beginning with experienced founders, operators, or corporate builders? There's 2 different personalities, 2 different skill sets, and it's a different relationship. Do the people that you're working with have skin in the game on this brand? Are they what they call founding members of the team that have some skin in the game? Are they going to benefit from this thing getting bigger and more successful, which means they're more invested into your success? Number 6, the startup support and launch process. What does onboarding look like? What is their training? What is their site selection? What is their build out? What's their vendor sourcing? Get all that information so that you can compare apples to apples when you're looking at multiple systems. Number 7, the ongoing support and infrastructure. This is going to be harder to find out when you're on the outside of the system, unfortunately. So what you have to do is talk to people on the inside, but make sure there's dedicated support team, field operations, marketing, vendor relations, things like that. Sometimes in smaller systems, some of those things might be all under one person, because they're dealing with a small number of units to support, and they're trying to grow really, really efficiently. Doesn't mean it's bad, but find out who that person is and how they're doing. And the other thing, this is a key area for you to talk to current franchisees and see what their experience is with it. Always knowing that there's going to be some franchisees that love the system and some that aren't performing well in the system for one reason or another. Could be the system's fault, could be their fault, whatever. But there's always going to be naysayers. So don't discount something just because there's one or two comments that are negative. Number 8 has more to deal with you as a person and what you bring to the system rather than the other way around. And that's the franchise fit and the requirements to be a franchisee. So it's more than just the financial, although there's usually a liquidity and a net worth minimum for each system. But there's also things like your experience, your background. Do your skills match up with what it would take to really grow this business? And can you handle the daily operations, or do you have really, really good experience managing a team? So those are things to consider. The validation and discovery process, do they provide full access to the disclosure documents, the P&L, the item 19? Are you encouraged to speak to existing and former franchisees? How transparent are they, and what's it like to get information from them? If it's super easy and it's very clear, that's a good sign.
This is a quick break to thank you for listening. Every week, we are getting more and more people listening to the show, and this growth is helping me to improve it and make it even more helpful to you. My intention for this show is to help more people win in business and life. To that end, I have a favor to ask. If you know of an entrepreneur that would benefit, please hit the share button and shoot them a text with the link. Back to the show. Make this a great day.
And number 10, the reputation, the brand, and the franchisee feedback. We already touched on this with talking to franchisees, particularly for what their experience has been. But what are they saying about profitability? What are they saying about support? What are they saying about their overall satisfaction? Those are really important from your perspective to hear what people that are in the shoes that you're about to step into are having. But also, what does the public say? What do the clients say? Are they raving about this brand, or are they lukewarm, or are they negative on it? So take a look at that. And does this brand have a lot of momentum? Are they growing really fast? That's exciting. You want to get in on that early, but it's a little bit more risky, but it's sometimes the excitement. I always call those people pioneers. Does the brand have staying power? Has it been around for a really, really long time? So it's like, okay, as long as I follow their recipe, I'm going to do fine. Does it have some legitimacy, or is it just hype? Because if all they're talking about is how fast they're growing, how many units they're selling, or how many territories they're selling, to me, that's a red flag. It should be followed up by this is how many are opening, and this is what's going on with the franchisees, and talk to some of the franchisees. So those are the 10 points to consider with the questions associated with them. Now, as you know, I'm not a franchise consultant, meaning I don't go out and find brands and work for buyers to help them put them in a brand or anything like that. There's a lot of people out there that do it. Some are excellent. And some are not, just like any other industry. So be very, very careful with who you choose on that decision point. I work more on the brand side, work with emerging brands, founders, entrepreneur leaders in advisement and investment and things like that. So normally I wouldn't have this list, but specifically for prospective franchisees. But I also think this list is a fantastic thing for the leaders of an emerging brand to sit around a table at one of their meetings and go through this list and see how they would measure up to what they think a real prospective franchisee would say, or what their current franchisees would say. And it's kind of a time to be super candid and vulnerable. And it's not a time to point fingers or anything. It's just a time to look at where you need to shore up. Every system has its areas that needs improvement. So there's no shame in your game. If you get through this list and you're like, wow, there's a few points in here that we need to really work on. So I would encourage emerging brand leadership to also use this list as a way to kind of assess your system from a different perspective. So whether you use this list as a prospective franchisee to good measure, I hope you do. Or if you're an emerging brand and you use it to kind of measure where you guys are right now, I hope that helps too. So something to consider here. take a look at it. And if there's anything I can do, always feel free to reach out to me directly. Thanks for listening.
That wraps up today's episode of the Franchise Scaleup Show. If this gave you a strategy you can put into play, please share it with one founder who needs the help. You might save them months of pain. If you're ready to go deeper, whether it's building your support infrastructure, accelerating territory sales, or preparing for private equity, go to guycoffey.com. That's GUYCOFFEY, and book a free franchise growth strategy call. I only partner with founders who are committed to scaling without losing control. If that's you, I'd love to connect. Until next time, protect your vision, move fast, and scale smart. I'm Guy Coffey. Talk soon.